Did you ever wonder what it's like working at our nation's pride, ISRO? What does it take to land an internship over there? Or how does a career in India look like after an aeronautical engineering degree? Hey guys, this is Kirat and welcome back to yet another video. Today I have Kumud Yadav with me. He is a 2018 MIT Manipal graduate and is now pursuing his masters from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. We will be talking about his entire experience in the field of aeronautical engineering. So, yeah, let's get started.
So, hey Kumud, can you please introduce yourself for my audience?
Yeah. Hi guys. My name is Kumar and I did my bachelor's in aeronautical engineering from Manipal. I joined in 2014 and graduated in 2018. After that, I did my internship at ISRO, and then after a 1 year of gap, I would say, to relax, then I joined uh, the Politecnico di Milano in the space engineering program. So, the space rims.
So, we'll talk about your journey in this video. And first, we'll start with your time in Manipal. So, you graduated from Manipal in 2018, the year I joined Manipal, with an aeronautical degree. So, can you just tell us in brief, like, how was your overall experience?
Okay. So I would say I was a bit skeptical about joining Manipal because the aerospace field is not well renowned in our country, and also you have a family pressure of getting the job, and it's a bit of risky area. So, but I had a passion of space, so I was very keen in doing space stuffs, learning astronomy and doing telescopic measurements and all of these from my childhood. So I joined it with a bit of uh, uh, hard hurt. So I want to do this, and I want to just get over this thing without thinking of the consequences. When it's in 2014, I joined the college. It was good. The time spent there, is one of the best time in my life. So I would say Manipal is totally worth it.
So, so I would like to touch upon the 2 points which you mentioned in your answer. So the first one about being skeptical about Manipal. That's like the third time I'm hearing this in an interview. So I've observed this common pattern now. Like even me or like everyone who is yet to join Manipal is always like skeptical, like how it will be or how will the crowd be, the academics and everything. But once they go through the experience and then they realize that it was a very nice one. and the
Exactly.
second and the second point which you said was that there was like a family pressure and the society pressure about the aerospace field, that it's not yet developed in India, or there aren't much opportunities. So I talked to a lot of aspirants, and I've noticed a common fear among them, and they think that the aerospace field does not have much opportunities in terms of, say, the placements or the internships, etc. So, can you comment on that?
Yeah, sure. The fear is actually valid because it's the case in our country. There are not many opportunities in the field of aerospace, but they are growing as we speak because there are a lot of startups coming. Like we would be having a private space launch company in India by uh, and they will be having the launch by the end of 2022, I guess. So
Oh,
the space sector will definitely grow in India, but it's the transition phase we are talking about. Right now, there are very limited number of opportunities. So you need to be sure that you want to do this thing, whatever it takes, because it's not going to be easy right in this field. Because we are not from a government funded institution. Like if you're joining Manipal for the aerospace field, then you need to be sure that you want to do this, because half of my batchmates dropped out of the aerospace.
oh,
That's the
damn.
case with every batch in Manipal and in every private institutions, because at the end of the day you need bread and water to survive. That's why.
So, I
So
mean, that's really shocking to hear that people dropped out and everything. I'm hearing that for the first time.
No, it's the case with the aerospace. Like we had a batch of around 60 people in our class, and there are around like I would say 15 to 20 people who are pursuing their masters in aerospace or doing jobs in the aerospace field. Rest all of them have either joined the college in some other fields or they are doing some the data science jobs in some multinational companies. So at the end of the
Okay.
day, you are going, you need to be sure like you are going to, you want to do this further. That's the thing.
Oh, so, I think the aspirants have got their answer to this then, that you need to be really sure about the aerospace field if you're jumping into it. And as you said, that, a lot of people switch their careers after doing their bachelor's. So, yeah, that's something they need to keep in mind. So, now let's jump to the internships that you did during your degree, which were Jet Airways and ISRO. Let's begin with the first one, Jet Airways. We know, unfortunately, that the company isn't operating anymore, but I guess the application process and the requirements is quite similar to that of, let's say, Indigo, SpiceJet, or some other carriers. So, can you tell us, like, how did you crack this internships and how was the experience like?
Okay, so first thing, uh, in this field, like you need to make a lot of contacts. So you should start making contacts first with your professors, and through their contacts, you need to contact other people. You should also, try on looking to some conferences, seminars related to aerospace fields where you will be getting to know these peoples. So I mailed multiple MNCs for the internships, but at the end of the day, I got an interview opportunity from the Jet Airways, and luckily I got through. And when I went there, like it was a complete different experience because in Manipal, like it's on a hilltop away from the world.
Mhm.
You don't
Yeah,
actually feel, hear what is happening in the world because you are living in your own world.
yeah.
That's the thing about Manipal. So when I went to Mumbai for my internship in the Jet Airways, I was, kind of got a, how do you say, got the experience of working in the companies, like how they operate and these things. So I had like around a month there. So I was stationed in the three branches, like in 8 to 8 days.
Okay.
Like there were main three divisions: the propulsion division, which dealt with the turboprop engines or the turbofan engines and
Okay.
the avionics part, and the overall management part of the airline industry. Like that was the last part of the internship. And I would say like I learned a lot from this thing, but it could have been much better, like in the sense, because the companies don't actually provide you with much details about it. Because you have a
Okay.
limited period of time, like
Hmm.
let's say 1 month. It's very
Hmm.
short. Like, but if it has been of like 6 months or so, then it would be really beneficial for the students. And they're
Okay.
also looking for the students who want to do internships or take any sort of project for a longer period of time rather than for a 1 month, like which is the
Okay.
criteria to get some credits in a university. Like you have to do certain number of hours in
Hmm.
the industry to get
Yeah.
some credits for that.
Okay. So, like, if you talk about some other branches, let's say the IT branches or the mechanical branches, over there you have some support from college in terms of placements. Sorry, in terms of the internships during your third year. So that's not the case with aeronautical. Like you have to like be proactive on your own and email MNCs, contact professors and everything.
I would say like it would be better if you contact MNCs, professors on your own, because you can't
Okay.
just rely on the college.
Yeah.
Because I will tell you a hard fact.
Okay.
Uh, Overall, the Department of Aeronautical and Automobile Engineering, like it's it's in the beginning phase, and it it's trying to make up a lot of contacts in the industry, but but the companies which came into Manipal for the job interviews or the internship interviews, they don't actually require people from our branch.
Okay.
They are not eligible even to sit for these things for the most of the
Okay.
companies.
Okay.
Like there are some companies specifically for the aerospace, but they are very less.
Okay.
I would feel like it's better to contact on your own.
Okay. Got it. I think that will be really helpful to students who are wondering like how do you get these internships or get these opportunities. So, talking about internships, let's move on to your ISRO internship. Now, ISRO is something which I think motivates or pushes the young generation to pursue this field when they see ISRO doing, massive achievements in their 11th or their 12th grade. They feel motivated that, we want to do something in this sector as well. So, to be exact, you worked as a research assistant at the Space Application Center. Can you share your entire experience? Like, how is it actually working like at ISRO?
Okay, so I would say after Manipal, it was, you can actually say like the place ISRO, you want to be there, because the moment I entered the campus of the ISRO, like there were two huge models of the rockets
Okay.
which were standing right in front of me, and I was literally, I don't have the words to explain that feeling. But the moment I entered the campus of the ISRO, I was very, I was feeling very proud and, okay, yeah, I have an opportunity to work here and learn something from here. So, yeah, you are you know, I would say in ISRO, you will feel like you are a bigger part of something. So that would actually be, useful in your career and in your day-to-day life also, like building confidence and all. So during my internship there, I worked for like around 6 to 7 months there, and there I was dealing with the uh, tooling assembly of a small component of the satellite, but that is
Okay.
very critical. Like
Okay.
it was the readings which we got from the Mars orbiter mission,
Mm-hmm.
which was in 2014.
Yeah.
There were some discrepancies in that data because of the malfunctioning of the some instrument, because it was
Okay.
overheating by
Okay.
some fraction of centigrades. So you need to cool down that. So in order to do that, like I had to compile up a research about this thing and come up with a solution for this.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, like it was on paper, I didn't do anything on hand experience because it
Okay.
was only 6.
Hmm.
So like for the proper, making the model and experimenting with it, like you need to be there for like at least a year or more than a year. But
Okay.
the time spent there was well, and I really made some good friends there. Like I'm still in touch with them,
Okay.
and the mentors there are still guiding me, like to pursue how
Oh,
to do it, and like what should be done in my next step.
so the way you described your like the first day experience at ISRO, I feel like working at ISRO must be like someone who is a aeronautical enthusiast or someone who's a aerospace enthusiast. That must be their like ultimate goal or their dream. So
Yeah.
let's let's talk about the youngsters in their 11th grade, 12th grade, or freshers who dream of like working at ISRO, as I just said, and who want to be a part of these big missions that make a global impact. So, what would you say that their path needs to be if they want to achieve this goal?
I think you just need to learn science and maths. That's
So,
because you need some sort of aptitude to get into this thing. So it and science and maths define your aptitude.
okay,
Like not the normal aptitude, but the technical aptitude. I would say, like it's
okay,
needed. Like you should really focus on the subjects in the 11th and 12th grade,
and
maths and science.
do you need to have like some sort of research projects while you're doing your bachelor's?
Like it's good if you have something, because over a period of 4 years, like you have plenty of free time,
Hmm.
I would say.
Yeah.
Like we have only like 4 months of college and another 2 months of vacation and another 4 months of college. So like you have a lot of time. You just need to figure out how to manage with that time. So during my college time, I was engaged with a lot of projects, which was under which some of them were under some professors from the aeronautical department,
Okay.
and some of them were from the under the clubs, like the astronomy clubs. Like
Okay.
I hope it's still operating now,
Yeah, it is,
because
it is.
when I joined the Manipal, there was no astronomy club, and
Oh,
uh, and it got restarted. Actually, there was an astronomy club in Manipal,
okay.
but got, I would say there was no one to operate for a span of like some years, and it got revived again in 2014, like the year I joined Manipal.
Okay.
So I was a member of that club, and I saw that, growing. I saw that club growing
Okay.
and meeting people there, and developing new ideas and coming up with projects and all. Like we had some really good projects, like the Star Tracker. The students built a star tracking device from the scratch,
Okay.
and using their own coding skills and own. There was a mechanical subsystem, so they actually designed the actuators and all for that specific thing. Also, we had a very ambitious project, I would say, and it was making a radio telescope inside the campus.
Oh,
And but it was a far-fetched idea. Uh, me and some of my friends started this venture, and but by that time, uh, we went out of the college. We graduated, and it got handed over to some, juniors, and I
hmm.
hope they are still working on it, and maybe next few years there will be news from Manipal that the students have finally made a radio telescope in the campus, and they are doing some geek stuff, the geek
That's
stuff. So
amazing.
it's nice to see
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I also want to talk about this myth that the students have. They think that, if they're from the only if they're from the IITs or the ISCs or the top government institutes of India, only then they can, get an opportunity to work or intern at ISRO. Is that the case? What do you think about this?
No. That's definitely not the case, because I was from Manipal and I did my
Hmm.
internship there.
Yeah.
You just need to be careful about the steps you take in your career. Like you need to make contacts, because at the end of the day, you need contacts, and they will help you. But you also need to have some caliber.
Hmm.
You can't just go into these institutions without knowing anything and spitting dust. That would be hilarious for them also. So they won't take you. So you need to be smart. You need to have some contacts. You need to be well thorough with the career, with the curriculum. So it's not that you can't join ISRO, you can't get a job at ISRO if you're not if you are from a private institution. But for that, you need to you know clear some of the exams, like the GATE or the ISRO, which specifically conduct the exam every year.
Okay.
Or you need to join the IAST, like the college run by the under the Department of Space.
Oh. Okay.
They normally absorb the students there into the ISRO directly.
Okay. Okay.
But if you are from the private institutions, you need to crack some JEE exams again.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
So,
Is the situation?
that's
I hope it improves in near future. Let's say.
yeah, that's nice to hear that, you can still crack these opportunities if you're not from these government colleges. So, we talked about your internships and your bachelor's at Manipal. let's move on to your masters now. So you're pursuing your masters in aerospace at, I don't know how to pronounce your university name, but I'll try. It's Politecnico di Milano. Is
Yes,
that right?
right.
So it's a highly ranked university in Italy. So I want to ask you, like, why did you choose this university, or Italy specifically for your masters? Because we commonly see USA, Australia, or UK being the go-to destination for masters.
Okay, so I would say it was a well calculated decision
Okay.
because I didn't want to spend a lot of amount for,
Hmm.
for my master
Hmm.
because it's it's risky. Because in aerospace you also have some limitations getting jobs abroad also. So I personally thought that I should not spend a lot of money on my master's degree.
Okay.
Rather, I chose institutions like in Italy, the Politecnico di Milano, and
Okay.
my department, the mechanical and aerospace department, it comes in the top 10 departments across the world. So it's
Oh.
not something
Yeah.
that is a mediocre university
Hmm.
or something like that. You're actually in the in the top university in the specific department, and they are doing a very good amount of research work there, and it's really nice to be there. Also, from the financial standpoint, like my college fee is actually lesser than the Manipal.
Oh.
So, so I just need to spend money on my living, and that's all. So, because generally, if you go abroad and do your masters in some computer science or something, is fine. If you're spending like 60 lakhs or 70 lakhs rupees for 2 years, it's fine
Hmm.
because you're going to get a job after this. There's high chance that
Okay.
you will get a job.
Hmm.
But with the space, it's bit of risky. So I thought, because I was sure that I would definitely get better institutions than the Polytechnic, but I thought that I should not spend much more amount than this. And keeping in mind, I joined this, and because there are two factors. One is you want to do a job after masters, or you want to pursue the doctorate after your masters, higher studies.
Hmm.
So I was more inclined towards the higher studies, and
Okay.
Polytechnic Nano is completely theoretical research-based university. Like
Okay.
it's hectic. It's very hectic. You need to have. I need to submit a lot of assignments every
Okay.
day, and there's a crazy exams. The
Oh.
exams are totally crazy. Like it's
Oh.
difficult to pass, but you still manage. I still managed to do some of them, and some of them are still pending. So I
Oh.
hope I do in time. But yeah, so because after the masters, I wanted to do the doctorate, and after spending some time there, I would prefer to come back to India and to do something here. Like it would be
Oh.
useful for everyone in the country,
Yeah.
and for
That's
people
amazing to
like.
hear. So let's move on to my last question, which is, what are your plans after masters? You spoke about them in the previous answer, but you can just tell us a bit more in detail. And if an aspirant is planning to pursue aerospace masters in abroad, just like you, what can he or she expect in terms of opportunities compared to India?
Okay, so there are two questions, like what I want to do after this masters.
Yeah.
So I would say, as of now, I would like to study further, and
Okay.
I'm searching for a research topic right now, and it's bit scary because there are a lot of interesting topics out there,
Oh.
and you just need to choose one and go into deeper into that topic. So let's see what happens. And regarding the second question, like what should the students expect when they are coming abroad into the aerospace engineering. Like you will definitely get a lot of more definitely you will definitely get a lot of opportunities here compared to India. But you will have some sort of restrictions in some of the fields, like the propulsion division. It's
Okay.
mainly related to defense sector. So some of the countries won't allow you to work as a propulsion engineer or something like that.
Oh,
But you can easily work there as a data scientist in some doing some data analysis from the data recorded from the remote sensing the satellites, or building some avionic stuff which is not military level, but
okay.
the normal level. Because that's the thing, because in aerospace everything is uh, defense related. You can actually use every part of the aerospace, the space industry into the military thing. The
Oh,
countries need to be sure about you. But yeah,
oh,
but if you are national, like you can do anything. You will get everything. Yeah.
oh. So that's nice to hear. And I think that, throughout this interview, if any aerospace aspirant watches this interview, I think he or she will get almost all the doubts answered, that whatever they have regarding, placements or regarding the internship opportunities, masters in abroad. So yeah, thank you so much for giving us your time and answering all these questions so nicely. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, same here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, and bye bye.